friends, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I hope you all had a beautiful, fantastic start to the year. I am coming at you today with a massive book haul. In lieu of the traditional end of year book haul, I figured I'd do an early year book haul because some of my things were still in transit at the end of the year. I also had so much content planned that I would not have been able to get it up around the end of the year without like overloading content. So I figured I would wait until everything came in except for one book and give you just a massive haul at the beginning of the year. So that's what this is. Like I said, it's massive, so we're just gonna jump right into it. I'll talk about the book that's still on the way first. That's Spare by Prince Harry. I'm so excited for this one. This is one of my most anticipated releases. It's still on the way because it comes out January 10th. This is going to be a biographical or autobiographical account of Prince Harry's life, and it seems like it's gonna focus around the passing of his mother. So I'm really excited to kind of hear some things from Harry's perspective, and as soon as I get this on my doorstep, I'm going to be ripping that sucker open and starting it. Other than that, I have everything in front of me. So I guess I have like piles in front of me, and then there's a bag over here. So I'm just gonna start in one of the piles and we'll work our way across. I'm gonna give a brief synopsis if I know them. If I don't, I will tell you that, and maybe I'll tell you why I chose to pick them up or when I picked them up. So let's just get right on with it. First up, I have The Fine Print and Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I actually ordered these online and I used a gift card for them. I got them from Barnes & Noble. Terms and Conditions was one of my favorites of 2022, so I figured I'm gonna want to reread these at some point, and I do want to own a copy of them. They look really cool together, and I do like the discreet covers, so I decided to pick these up. These books follow a group of 3 brothers who are all part of a Disney-esque company in which they have this theme park called Dreamland, and their grandfather was like the main guy who started it all, aka like a Walt Disney type guy, and he passes away, and in order to inherit certain things from his will, they have to complete certain tasks or prerogatives that he has set out for them. This first book follows Rowan, and his prerogative or thing he has to do in order to inherit his will is come up with a new idea for something to do in the Dreamland parks. And the second book follows Declan. He has to marry and have a child before he can become the CEO of Dreamland. So these are the first 2 books. The third book follows Cal, and I don't remember what he has to do in that one. I haven't read that one yet, so I'm looking forward to that one, but these 2 were really good. I think I gave this one 4.5 stars and this one 5 stars. So those are the first 2 books. Then I have all 3 books in the Imperium trilogy in hardcover. So the first book is Furyborn, the second book is Kingsbane, and the third book is Lightbringer. This follows the story of 2 prophesied queens, a Sun Queen and a Blood Queen. And we have 2 women on 2 different timelines. They're like 1,000 years apart. We have Riel and Eliana. Riel is proving herself to be the Sun Queen in the first book, and Eliana is a bounty hunter. And this book follows both of them as they endure those trials, and their stories are set 1,000 years apart, but they are more intricately connected than you would think. I have read the first one. I am going to reread and annotate it, which is why I bought a copy, and then I'm going to hopefully read the other 2 this year. Then myself and my father actually hit up Half Price Books because at the end of the year they have 20% off of everything, and all of their titles are already half off the list price. So if something is listed at $10 from the publisher, they sell it for $5 because they're like resale books, they're secondhand. And I picked up Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandria Belfour. This is the 3rd book in the like Written in the Stars series. I own Hang the Moon. I have read Written in the Stars, so I have not read Count Your Lucky Stars or Hang the Moon. This one looks like a sapphic romance, grumpy sunshine, rom-com. I liked the first one, so I'm excited to continue on with the other 2, and I've been meaning to read this one for a while, so I figured I'd pick up a copy while there was one. Another one I got at half price is Finley Donovan is Killing It. This is a cozy mystery following, I believe, Finley Donovan. She's a stressed out single mom of 2 and a struggling novelist. It's a little cozy mystery, so it's gonna have something interesting happen within it. I have heard amazing things about this, particularly from Kayla and Gavin this year, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up and seeing if cozy mysteries are more my thing than I think they are. When I think of horror books, I typically think of Grady Hendrix, and The Final Girl Support Group is a title that has always captivated my attention. I loved Final Girls by Riley Sager. I think I like the idea of a final girl in a horror novel. So this is Brady Hendrick's Final Girl support group. This one is very similar to Final Girls by Riley Sager in that it follows a group of final girls. Final girls are typically the last woman standing at the end of a horror movie or some type of situation. They're the only one left alive. In this book, the group of final girls meet together and have a support group in which they talk to each other about their struggles and find comfort in similar experiences with one another. And then one of them ends up going missing. I assume something's gonna happen with the rest of the final girls. It's got a very similar premise to the other one that I really enjoyed by Riley Sager, so I'm excited to give this one a shot. Then I have Hilary Mantel's The Mirror and the Light. This is the third book in a trilogy. I didn't know it was actually part of a trilogy. The second one is called Bring Up the Bodies. The first one is called Wolf Hall. I own Wolf Hall. I've hauled it on my channel before, and this is the third one. I believe they all center around Henry VIII, around the time of Anne Boleyn, maybe a little bit before and a little bit after. This one I believe takes place after Anne Boleyn when he's with Jane. And after seeing the musical Six, I have been obsessed with Henry VIII. So I've decided to maybe pick up some of Hilary Mantel's books. And maybe I'm a historical fiction girly and I just didn't know it. Then I have Razorblade Tears. This follows two men who have sons that have passed away. Separate men, separate sons, but both of their sons have passed away. And I believe they're also ex-cons, like they've dealt with the prison system at some point in their lives, and they are seeking revenge on the passing of their sons, and they're gonna have to confront their own biases and prejudices based on the synopsis. It says it's a thriller. I've heard mixed things about it, so I'm excited to try. It was $8 for a hardcover, so I was like, it's a good deal, willing to give it a shot. Then I have A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is one of my 12 books, 12 friends challenge that I'm doing in 2023. This was recommended to me by my friend Val. There's a full video where I list all of the recommendations I got from all of my friends. This one follows The Bride of Dracula. I believe this is a horror book or some sort of like dark, mysterious book. I'm not 100% sure, but it follows the wife of Dracula, and after a series of events, she ends up aligning with the people who are like opposed to Dracula and realizes some things that are maybe not so great about her husband. So this will be very interesting. I just had to buy it because of the cover. It was just so pretty and it was a good deal, so like I'm not mad about it. Next up is Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. This is a retelling of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, or like a reimagining of it, in which we have Jamie and Bee who do not like each other, and they're going to do some fake dating in order to like prove some friends wrong or something like that. And inevitably they're gonna fall in love. This is a cute little romance. I've heard amazing things about it, and I'm really excited to pick up Chloe Leese's writing. And I believe this also has autism representation. If you remember cover, again, that's all I need to say about that one. Lynn Painter's The Do-Over is a Groundhog Day type thing in which I believe our main character keeps waking up on Valentine's Day and having a do-over of Valentine's Day over and over again until she gets it right. Then I decided to pick up Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography called I'm Glad My Mom Died. This recounts Jeanette's life, obviously from her perspective of being a child actress and also dealing with the hardships that she faced growing up. This has been so many people's favorite books of the year, or at least graced a lot of people's favorite books of the year, and I heard the audiobook is really good as well, so I'm hoping to annotate this and listen to the audiobook at the same time. Everyone's been loving it, so I decided I'd give it a shot. How many times do you think I can say I'm gonna give this a shot? That's the whole point of buying these books. Carrie Soto Is Back is Taylor Jenkins Reid's, that's hard to say, most recent release following Carrie Soto, who is a tennis player. We meet her a little bit in Malibu Rising, and I have now finished Evelyn Hugo, Malibu Rising, and Daisy Jones in the Six, so I feel like I'm really prepared to be involved with this one. Apparently there's a lot of tennis that goes into this one, but something I've noticed with Taylor Jenkins Reid's most recent releases is that they're all kind of interconnected in some way, so I really wanted to read Daisy Jones and the Six before getting to this one. I did read it in December, so now it's time for me to finally get to this one. How to Excavate a Heart is a lesbian YA romance in which Shawnee arrives in DC, and Shawnee's mom literally hits May with her car upon their first meeting, and then Shawnee actually ends up walking May's little corgi here, and it's a romance between the two of them. And this was one of my favorite books of 2022, so I figured I'd want to own a copy. I'm so excited about this one. This was one of my favorite books. It was fun, it was adorable, it was laugh-worthy, funny, laugh-worthy. It was hilarious. and I thoroughly enjoyed every second of it, so I'm really excited to now own a copy. Then I have The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. This follows Lucrezia de Medici. The Medici family was a very renowned and popular family, especially within the art world during the times of the Renaissance and the Baroque periods. So I'm very familiar with them because I have a minor in art history. It's one of my favorite subjects, and I love studying the Medici family, so I'm really excited to read this historical fiction piece about Lucrezia de Medici. I obviously know that this is going to be a little bit fictional and a little bit more dramatized in terms of her life in some way, but I'm obsessed with this family, and so I saw this cover and knew I had to own it. I have House of Hunger, which follows our main character Marion. She is, I guess poor is a good word for it. She doesn't live a lavish lifestyle. And then here's about a call for a blood maid, which I guess is like a vampire-esque type character. I'm not 100% certain, and she goes to the House of Hunger and ends up working for this woman, and suddenly her life has changed dramatically after being a blood maid for this woman. I have not read a lot of vampire stories, and same with A Diary of Blood. I'm really excited to try and give them a shot, and oh my god, how many times am I going to say that? And see maybe what I like in a vampire story, because the only vampire story I've ever read is Twilight. So I feel like I can't be trusted in terms of a vampire book, so I'm really looking forward to giving maybe some more thriller or horror-based books with vampires in them a try, because I just love a good thriller and horror. Something I learned about myself in 2022 was that I love a good mystery thriller horror book, which I didn't know before. So we're going to explore some more of that in 2023. I have The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. This is the second book in the Six Crimson Cranes series, duology, trilogy. I don't really know what it's going to be, but this was part of the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale when they did their hardcover sale, and I decided to pick it up because I'm obsessed with the cover. I've heard amazing things about Six Crimson Cranes. Hopefully there's amazing things to be said about The Dragon's Promise, but the cover alone was just so fantastic that I just couldn't resist. For Christmas, my family gifted me a copy of They Both Die at the End. This is the collector's edition. It has a new short story in it, and it's also signed. I own a signed personalized paperback of They Both Die at the End, but not a hardcover. This is like my third or fourth copy of this book that I now own, so that's interesting. How many more copies of these books am I going to collect? I don't know. Stay tuned, I guess. I have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I've heard amazing things about this author, particularly with The House on the Cerulean Sea, but that was not available in hardcover when I was shopping at the 50% off sale, so I decided to pick up his other book, Under the Whispering Door. This follows our main character, Wallace, who is greeted by the Grim Reaper, and upon that, he realizes that he might be dying. And he has a week to cross over into the afterlife, so he is, I guess, living his life the best he can within the 7 days that he has to cross over into the afterlife. Not 100% sure. It's giving a little bit of a Christmas Carol vibe, but I'm excited to give this one a read. See, I didn't say shot that time, because I've heard such amazing things about this author, and why not, right? Nine Liars by Maureen Johnson is one that maybe I didn't necessarily need to pick up yet. This is, I believe, the 5th book in the Truly Devious series. However, I read Truly Devious in 2022 and it was impeccable. It's like a dark academia mystery type book, and I was captivated from the first page. I loved it. I thought the ending was a little bit rushed, but after I read that book and fell in love with it so much, I picked up all the other hardcovers. So when this was 50% off at Barnes & Noble, I figured I'd complete my collection, because what better time to do it than when you can get the hardcover for 50% off, right? I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive cover of Foul Lady Fortune. This is Chloe Gong's new, I believe, duology. I don't really know anything about it, but I wanted the Barnes & Noble exclusive cover, and the sprayed edges are red, which was really cool. I do think I prefer the pink cover, but I prefer the sprayed edges, and I prefer it at 50% off. So what do I have to lose? Except like $5, $10. My family just got back from a trip overseas in which they stopped in London, and of course, me being the book person I am, I requested they pick up a couple books for me. I wanted anything by Emily Henry, They Found Book Lovers, and You and Me on Vacation, which is the UK version of People We Meet on Vacation. And I believe this one has an alternate ending, so I'm going to have to compare my copy with this one. This one follows Nora and Charlie, who are both book agents and publicists. They both are book people. And then this one follows two friends who have an annual summer vacation together, and after a falling out, they decide to go on one more spontaneous vacation. and obviously they're both romances in some way. Emily Henry's one of my favorite authors. Had to pick those up. And I don't know if this is the like Waterstones copy, First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, with these super cool sprayed edges. This is the UK cover. I own the US edition. I was so excited to get the UK edition, and I had no clue that it had these super cool sprayed edges. So when they told me that it was there and they sent me a picture of it, I was like, sure. This is a prequel to They Both Die at the End, following Valentino and Orion on the day that Deathcast premieres for the first time. So the next 5 books I have to talk to you about are all by the same author, and that is Jennifer L. Armentrout. I own From Blood and Ash. These are the other 2 books in that series, I believe. Not 100% sure which one's the second, which one's the third, which is why I'm showing them both to you at the same time. I have heard that From Blood and Ash is a really good series if you're looking for a fantastical romance series very similar to the style of ACOTAR, but maybe a little bit more on either this romance or the fantasy side. I'm not 100% sure, but I've been captivated based on what people have told me about it. And the best thing is that you typically can't get these at a discount. My sister works for Barnes & Noble, and I used to work at Barnes & Noble, and booksellers get a nice discount on books there. But the hardcovers, I believe, are only available at Barnes & Noble for this author in this series, and typically you can't get a discount on them. So when I had the opportunity to get them 50% off, I had to, which in turn means that I also had to pick up the other 3 books that are available by this author. Do I know what any of these are about? No. Was I willing to try them for 50% off? In worst case scenario, I don't like them, I donate them or resell them to half price books or something? Yeah, why not pick them up, right? So that's all of the books that I got. They are all now surrounding me and in bags on the floor. I don't even know how many there are. I'll put a little total count up here. I'm fairly impressed with myself because I knew the synopsis of quite a few of those. The last book haul I did, I just picked them up and I was like, I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this is about. I'm proud of myself for knowing what some of these are about. I was very fortunate to have a lot of gift cards to spend them on and a lot of extra money around the holidays. So I decided to splurge and get some books that I'm very excited about. And all in all, I cannot wait to read some of these and add them all to my collection. Do I have room for them on my shelves? I don't think so, but that's future Shelby's problem. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this massive book haul. If you got any fun books for the holidays or any fun books for the end of the year / new year, let me know in the comments below. And if you've read any of these that I haven't read and you care to tell me any opinions you have about them, hopefully they're positive, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And that concludes this video. Thank you again for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Happy reading!